When you have gardened for as long as I have and as much as I have, you develop an arsenal of tools that help you get the job done and get it done right the first time. That's what my dad taught me anyway, and I have taken that with me as I've gotten older. The right tool can make the job easier or it can complicate your life. Here are my favorite tools in the garden, and I'm going to share a couple of honorable mentions. The first thing I want to talk about is my Hori Hori knife. Now, my Hori Hori knife gets like top recognition as part of what I use in the garden. And the reason is it is multi-purpose. The first thing is I want to show you that it has these gradiated markings, and these markings help me to know how deep I should be planting something. So it gets a lot of use in the vegetable garden. I also use it in areas of the garden where the soil is soft enough to work, and I just use it to part the soil and plant whatever it is I'm planting. However, it is probably most used to help me divide plants. The serrated edge that it has helps me to be able to cut things in half and get them planted. Another reason I use the serrated edge is to help me open packages. I use it to open boxes. I also use it to open amendments for soil and also to open packages when plants are delivered. My Hori Hori knife always is on me or in my garden cart. Now, the one that I have comes with a little case, so I always have it housed, and then it comes with a clip to lock it in place so it doesn't fall out. And then I add it onto my tool belt when I'm in the garden, so it's always on my side. The next tool to me is a bigger version of a Hori Hori knife. It's called a machete. In Jamaica, we call it a cutlass. Every woman and man who farms our gardens have their own and has it on them all the time when they're in the garden. Now, one of the reasons that I carry mine all the time is here in the South, we have poisonous snakes. I have copperheads, water moccasins, and the like in my garden, and I have come across them on more than one time, on more than one occasion. So I always walk with this. But one of the biggest reasons I use it is to make way for me in the garden. I use it to move things aside before I put my foot somewhere so I don't get bit by snakes. Now, it is great for cleaning brush, chopping things, and helping to make larger garden particles smaller, so you can include it as part of your arsenal. You can find these at Tractor Supply, Home Depot, and Lowe's, although I will say the quality is not as good as the ones that we have in the Caribbean. Or Caribbean. This my dad sent me all the way from Jamaica, so I will always have this. The next two tools are actually carts that I'm able to move stuff around with. Now, there are three that I'll talk about real quickly. Two gorilla carts. I have the small and I have what I call Big Bertha. She is big. I am able to move a lot of mulch, a lot of compost, and a lot of everything. I originally got it for my husband to use, but now it's too big for him to maneuver. And so I use it when I'm trying to fill up the raised beds in the garden. I put 5-gallon buckets in it, fill them with compost, drag it into the garden, take the buckets out and dump them into the raised bed. Now you would think, why don't I fill up the cart and then just shovel it out the cart? Because I find the 5-gallon buckets easier to dump than this repetitive shovel. And my arms, I have carpal tunnel. I've told you all this before. So I find the 5-gallon bucket trick works better for me than shoveling it in and then having to shovel it out. At least I'm just shoveling one time. The other tool that I use a lot of is my gorilla wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow is different from typical wheelbarrows in that it has two wheels. It has two wheels to the front, it has two handles to the back, and the grip on them, to me, is more ergonomic than those two poles without the actual handles. I really like to use this wheelbarrow because I have felt that it made a difference with my carpal tunnel since I've been using it versus the traditional wheelbarrow that we had. One of my favorite tools is because it's so multifunctional and because it's mini, but it's powerful and allows me to do a lot. This is a mini chainsaw. This mini chainsaw allows me to cut down trees. Yes, I've cut down trees that are about maybe yay round with it, as well as saplings, as well as cutting off branches off of things. This gives me a nice clean cut, and I'm able to get it done in less time and less wear and tear on me. So I don't have to use the loppers. I don't have to stand there and chop, chop, chop. I can just literally go and use this and I'm done. I believe it took me like 30 minutes to clear an area last week that would have taken me hours to get pushed back away from the yard. So having the right tool really does help. All these tools, except for the machete, are linked below in my Amazon store. So if there's anything you see that you want to add to your arsenal, just click the link, go to my store, and there's one that says tools, and everything is in there. Why do I love this chainsaw? It's portable and it's surprisingly powerful for its size. It gets the job done in less time than if I'd use manual tools. Another tool that I love is my leaf mulcher by Works. I have a lot of trees, as you can tell, in my yard. And as a result, every fall, I spend a lot of time dealing with the leaves. So I tend to blow the leaves in one area and then I mulch them up and put them in a pile somewhere so that I can have compost later on. This has worked for me for years. I also mulch the leaves and use them in flower beds. I also use them in raised beds as mulch for the garden. But first thing I do is I shred them with my leaf shredder. Why I love it? It's powerful. It allows me to practice regenerative gardening in that I'm using resources that are here in the yard, and it helps me to be productive. I got tired of pumping spray, pumping spray. I just got tired of it. So I decided to invest in some portable, rechargeable sprayers. These are from the brand Petra, and you can find them on Instagram. You can find them on Amazon, and I've linked them in my store. This is the 1 gallon, and I love this for when I'm applying fish fertilizer to my greens and things like that. I also use it if I have an infestation of cabbage moths and have to spray my brassicas. I'll use this. Now this one, like I said, is 1 gallon. This is the 2-gallon container, and right now it contains some fish fertilizer that I used on some of my seedlings in the greenhouse, but I use it mostly for fertilizing. I use it for liquid fertilizer for my roses, especially the ones that are newly planted, as well as to fertilize the veggie garden. The next item on our list is our Hoselink hose reel. Why do I love it? No more dragging the hose all over the yard. Yes, I still have to move the hose over the yard, but there are no tangles. It's not kinked. I don't have to worry about tripping over it. It's neatly tucked away when not in use, which means it's less of a hazard to my husband. So it is an accessible item in the garden. It also comes in an 82-foot and 100-foot length, which is new. The 100-foot length is new. And it allows you to water a large space, and when you're done, retract the hose and go about your business. Like I said, I have 3. I have plans to add 2 more. And I think for the 2 more that I'm going to add, I want the 100-foot lengths because they're in areas where the extra footage will come in handy. My husband also uses them, and they're easy for him to use from his wheelchair, so definitely good for accessibility. My next tool are my leather gloves, and before you come for me, I will tell you that a pair of leather gloves are indispensable when you have as many roses as I have. They help with the thorns. Y'all, if you use canvas, it's not going to protect you from some of these thorns. So a good pair of leather gloves comes in handy. I love these because they are considered Hydra hide, so your hands won't get wet. They keep your hands warm, and they allow you the flexibility to still work while you're in the garden, pick stuff up. I'm able to swipe on my phone if I need to while using these. I also use these when I'm doing things like pulling poison ivy, dealing with this prickled thorny vine that we have here in the South when I'm trying to pull it out the garden. So a good pair of leather work gloves comes in handy. These are by Wells Lamont, and they're my absolute favorite brand of gloves. Now let's talk about some hand tools. I love Felcos because they help with my carpal tunnel. They are pretty easy to use. You can have left-handed or right-handed grip. I'm a righty, but if you're lefty, they also have left-handed tools, which makes it easier for you to use in the garden. And then I love a good pair of snips. These are $10 on Amazon. I use these to deadhead. And if I'm deadheading, my next tool are these disinfectant wipes to keep my snips clean in between plants. I walk around with these two things every day as I'm deadheading roses. I have a Felco 2 and a Felco 6, and I love them both and highly recommend them both. One is just smaller than the other, and they both get the job done. So why do I love them? They're razor sharp, ergonomic, and they last a lifetime. Also, if you need to clean them, you can disassemble them. You can also buy the toolkit that they have to replace certain parts to keep them. So that's a very sustainable tool to have, literally last you your lifetime in the garden. While we're in the garden, we want to protect ourselves from the sun. And as such, I have this SPF 60 hat that I wear all the time. I put it on before I head out into the garden. I have a new one, so excuse the sweat stains, but I've actually packed it for my trip to Jamaica so that I would have it while I'm there doing my daily walks. The sun there, y'all, hits different. I'll come back with a nice tan and you'll notice. But I love this hat because it allows me, y'all, I got a big head, I'm not gonna lie. And I got a lot of hair. So the big head and the big hair makes it hard to find hats that fit. And so this one fits if my hair is in a ponytail and or a bun, and allows me to get out into the garden. Yes, I know I'm supposed to cover the crown, but I have so much hair that the sun never reaches my scalp. So we're good. And this protects the whole face and down over my neck. Another tool, because it is, right? I use it, are these baseball hats. I have them in 5 colors, and I like them because they have this cutout in the back that allows me to fit my ponytail, my puff, my bun, my braids, whatever it is I have in my hair, and then still cover my face. I'm taking one of these to Jamaica with me also. So it's just so that you have adequate sun protection, but I love these. And these are made for people with dreads, who have big curly hair, who have a reason why they typically could not wear a baseball hat. These will work for you. My next tool is one that allows me to keep my topiaries in shape and to keep my hedge of boxwoods trimmed how I like them. It is a hedge trimmer, also by Saker. Now the mini chainsaw is by Saker, which makes it affordable, and this is also by Saker, which makes it affordable as well. It comes with 2 blades. It has this long one, which is what I use to do all the trimming, and then it has a small one, which to me is just not, it's not as productive. So I use this one. I keep it covered so that I don't cut myself needlessly. Safety first. And then also it is rechargeable. So the mini chainsaw is rechargeable, and this too is rechargeable. I use this every season and a few times on the topiaries, the spiral, as well as the ball topiaries, as well as my hedge of holly compactum or compactum hollies that I have trimmed into a circle, as well as my boxwoods that I'm also trimming into balls. Can't say enough about this. It makes for easy. So I don't have this repetitive motion of clipping, clipping, clipping with the typical shares. Who doesn't want a tool belt? I know I do. I wanted one for a long time, and then I got one. This is the Lero leather tool belt. It is useful for those handy men in our lives as well as for us handy women. It is used in the garden. And it can also be used if you're a DIYer. The thing I love about it is it has all these spaces. So my hammer, when I'm doing projects that require that, can go here. I put my snips to the front, my Felcos here. I drop my phone in here if I'm wearing something that doesn't have pockets. I can keep my garden pen to label stuff in here, and then I drop labels in here. There's even another space for me to put another tool if I need to here. And then I slide through the belt loop my Hori Hori knife and I wear it. Hold on, let me show you. It has a long belt, so if you're fluffy like me, it gives you enough space, and then it tucks neatly over here so it doesn't flop around. I'm going to move the Hori Hori over here. Here's this on my hip. Then I'm now going to put my pruning shears. Okay, now it's how I normally wear it. Felcos, snips, Hori Hori knife. And like I said, I have space. I can add something here or on this side or here. Tons and tons and tons of room. I love it. I seldom lose things in the garden anymore because I was still losing things. And I keep this, and as soon as I'm done, I take it off. I put it in my small Gorilla cart, which goes with me every time into the garden, and I'm done. Why do I love it? It keeps me organized and it saves me from running all around the yard trying to find something that I've misplaced. Now, I talked about my garden snips before, but it is perfect for harvesting herbs. It's perfect for deadheading plants in the garden. I use it when I'm cutting flowers to arrange for the house and or give away as gifts. I tend to give my plants away to people I know who are sick and or got married or something like that. So I make bouquets and give them to my neighbors and friends like that. So they're great for precision works and for delicate stems. If you're a flower lover, you arrange flowers, you make bouquets, you need you one of these. A couple of honorable mention tools that I didn't really go into much, but you should consider for your arsenal is an umbrella hat. Y'all, it protects you from the heat. And if my hair wasn't in a bun, I would try it on for you. But let me show you. You fit it over your head like so, and you wear it, and it protects you from the rain and the sun. So this allows me to work in the garden if it's raining. Now, y'all, if it's thundering and lightning, I'm inside. But if it's just a little drizzle, I put this on and I'll continue working. The last thing that I think every gardener needs is what they call a trog. I found this one on clearance and I thought it was really pretty, and it has come in quite handy. I'm going around trellising tomatoes as well as lilies, and it allows me to bring all my clips as well as my bag of mini clips as well as my wire to be able to secure everything that needs securing. Whether you're just setting up your own personal arsenal or you are upgrading some of what you have, these tools are definitely worth the investment. Not only do they save you time and resources, but they also make the job easier in the garden. Let me know if you've tried any of these tools. As always, if you've liked this video or any of the videos on my channel, please consider subscribing. Happy gardening.